The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Good morning, class, and welcome back to the Nerd Academy podcast, your source for nerdom news and commentary. This is our first episode of 2022 of the main show, and I'm excited to do it. We had some technical difficulties the other day, so that's why the episode is out a day late. However, we are here. It is time to rock and roll. Joining me as always, your resident Green Lantern for the first time, 2022, Travis Grossman.
There's a new Mountain Dew this year.
Ooh, what was that?
Raspberry lemonade flavor.
I did not even know that was a thing. How is it?
Delicious. I've already burned through like an entire 12-pack of it in like 3 days.
Oh, shit. See, you said that and immediately I'm like, ooh, that would be one hell of a mixer.
Yeah, actually, it would be. It's really good.
You said that there's a raspberry flavored vodka that people like at the club. Not exactly my flavor, but I can understand why people would like that. And I bet that would like the lemonade flavor in the soda as well. Get that carbonation, tingle your tongue. Speaking of good drinks you can enjoy at a certain age, this episode is brought to you by Raytheon. No, of course, we are talking about the best sponsor on the planet, mostly because I like their stuff a lot. That's the main reason I say that. But we're talking about SundaysBloodyMary.com, your source for all manner of badass Bloody Mary accoutrement. Sundays are for bloodies, and I friggin' love this stuff. They just started up a Facebook group. I believe it's called Sundays Are for Bloody Marys. It's on their socials, so just find them on Twitter, and they posted about it. I joined it, and they're talking about introducing a new flavor and taking suggestions for it, and I'm very excited by that. There are some people throwing around some Chipotle, talking about like some spicier stuff. I suggested a bacon barbecue type thing because I tried one of those actually at the casino by the mall.
Mm-hmm.
At the Guy Fieri restaurant. They have I think it's like a barbecue Bloody Mary that sounds repugnant, but it was actually quite good. And I would love to see what Sunday's Bloody would do with something like that. But
I feel like that's Bloody Mary of the food in that restaurant.
Yeah, they do have trash can nachos. But yeah, they got the spicy Bloody Mary, the spicy Caesar, which again, that's my favorite by a long shot. I had a nice little weekend to myself. Not a weekend. I had a couple days to myself this weekend, and playing Spider-Man and sipping on a Bloody Mary was highlight of the week. So yeah, SundaysBloodyMary.com/shop. Use code TNAP at checkout and help out your favorite nerds while also getting some of the best Bloody Mary mix you can get your hands on. Also, they're I don't want to say local. They're in Lancaster. They're in the same state, but support small businesses as well. So, I think I lied. I think Hawkeye was our first episode in the year. I don't know why I even said that.
It was basically an episode of last year. We just didn't get to it because of Spider-Man.
Yeah. So because of Spider-Man and Hawkeye and the holiday season, we're a little behind on the news. So there's some stuff we got to talk about. Well, first things first, our most important news story by far. Morbius has been delayed again. Moving on. Morbius is officially getting an April 1st release date, which I think couldn't have been funnier.
That's good.
Did you not know what its new date was?
No, I didn't. I didn't know.
Go in, see the movie on April 1st, come out and be like, okay, so when are they going to release the actual movie? But yeah, that's all. Morbius is the new mutants, everybody.
Now the question is, will there be two bears?
No,
One
but there
that
will be bat radar sense.
In every person, there are two bats. And the one that wins is the one that you feed.
Oh my god. I can't wait for this dog shit movie. I'm so glad that's not going to be our first movie review of the year. I'm legitimately glad it got delayed because I did not want us to open with fucking Morbius as our first review of the year. That said, what was that?
I was trying to think of what our first one of 2019 was, because 2020 barely had any movies. It was Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that was a good one.
Birds of Prey featuring Video Drew.
Yeah.
Which I forget that was the case, that like we started our Schmodown. We were foreshadowing number one contender a while ago.
Yeah, we haven't opened on a January classic yet.
What was that?
So we haven't opened the year on a January classic yet.
No, we haven't. But actually jumping into something we missed because Spooderman and Christmas and Hawkeye, Doctor Strange trailer talk. Travis, what did you think of the Multiverse of Madness trailer?
I didn't expect it to be a trailer. I expected it to be an end credit scene. So when it was a trailer, I was like, oh, this is weird. Cool.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've done something like that.
Mm-hmm. I am excited to presumably see live action adaptations of stuff from What If.
Yeah.
And for that to actually, because right before we saw No Way Home, we were on Disney Plus, and I noticed, because they have on the MCU tab, they have the MCU in chronological order listing.
Yeah.
Right. So it starts at First Avenger and works its way all the way up to wherever the end game or whatever it's at now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's yeah.
It's up to Shang-Chi now, I think. But What If is in there, which I thought was strange. Because like this implies that this will have some real bearing on the rest of the MCU. And even while we were watching What If, you know, the Doctor Strange episode was the one where I was like, oh man, if they could work that into the real, like into live action MCU, that would be so cool. And just to see him in the black with the darkened eyes, I was like, hello?
I don't mean to immediately be a naysayer. I don't think it's the same Strange variant. I think this one feels a little too sinister. You know, like even by the end of his own episode, Strange Supreme was very mournful and was very aware that he was wrong. And by the time we see the finale, I feel like he's, you know, I don't think you can necessarily be redeemed for annihilating your own reality. That's a lot of blood to clean up. But I think that
unless he's pulled like, from an earlier point in the story.
Yeah, I was going to say, or he's, you know, still at the point where he's an asshole. My knee jerk is to say that it's a different Strange variant. And I like that because honestly, make him more evil. Like crank it up and like just put him at like Palpatine level of just like, I love being a monster. You know, put him there. Let that be where he hangs out as a person. I think that would be even more fun, especially to balance that with Baron Mordo's return, which I love Mordo's new look. I love Mordo's new look so much. But to balance that between Mordo and Wanda and the multiverse collapsing in on itself and like Shuma Gorath or the other alien that looks like that might be. I can't remember its name. It's like something like Gigantor or some bullshit like that. But I'm incredibly excited. I'm gonna make a prediction now, and I really don't want to be right. I think Wanda's gonna take out Wong.
Nah, Wong's too powerful. He's the
I
Sorcerer Supreme.
I feel like that's how Strange actually becomes the Sorcerer Supreme, and I don't like that. I don't like that they're killing off Wong to give Strange the title, but I get the vibe that might happen.
Nah, I think the fans like him too much.
I hope you're right. I hope the fans keep him alive. I'm just nervous for his fate, especially because it looks like Wanda's like chaos magic red stuff is like binding him up. In that one shot in the trailer where he's like on his knees, arms up in the air, looking up, where it's like, ooh, looks like Wanda's beating the shit out of him. Speaking of which, another fun theory I've seen floating around and one that I agree with. The little field we find Wanda in the trailer, I don't think that's real.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's made herself her own another little place, but instead of accidentally taking an entire town hostage to play The Sims, she has her own space that she's modified using her magic. Because I do think she's still I do think she's still where we see her at the end of WandaVision.
Yeah,
Like
in the middle of
Wondagore
nowhere.
Mountain. Yeah. I think that's where she's at still. I what I think is that she's like created her own like serene place to be. I also like that the trailer has not tipped its hand too much. You know, there's a lot of rumors for what could be in this movie, and I'm glad that it is focusing on interpersonal conflict and like the scale of the movie and is not trying to tease us out with anything. I think that because there's been way less of a leak machine on Strange, there is going to be. I say that now, though. I say that now. There's still so many rumors about stuff that eventually I think someone is going to get greedy, and when they're able to, they will leak something. And I don't want that to be the case.
Is it March or May for Strange? I
May.
can't remember.
It was supposed to be my birthday, and then it got delayed.
Yeah, it's still got 5 months. There's no way we don't know something by the time the movie comes out.
Yeah. Like, we already saw that one leak.
Oh, yeah.
With the new suit, which, you know, I don't feel inclined to share public, like, en masse. You know, you can find it if you look for it. It wasn't hard. But I also again don't. It's the same thing that happened with No Way Home. You know, where like I feel like a skeptic. I feel like a curmudgeon. No, not a skeptic, a cynic. Talking about it like this, but like I really don't want. I don't think the movie will devolve into Memberberry. I don't think that will happen. I think the fact that Marvel and Sony especially, showed enough restraint for the entirety of No Way Home to not be a giant Memberberry pie that I'm not worried about the way that Marvel handles these cameos and stuff anymore. I am like thoroughly annoyed with the fandom. I am thoroughly annoyed with the fact that every story is just a giant like countdown timer to when we will see someone we know from another thing, instead of enjoying the story and enjoying the way that other characters naturally come in and out of the narrative. And I really hope that Multiverse of Madness doesn't turn into that, because it already is. You know, like there was one very prominent comic book movie TikTok person talking about how Multiverse of Madness could have its own portal scene. And I'm like, okay, so we're how many movies in a row that have a portal scene? Or something that is tantamount to it. And talking about like, and you could have Chris Evans come out of a portal as like his version of the Human Torch. And it's like, no, I don't want that.
Do you think Chris Evans wants to do that? They could not pay him anywhere near enough money.
You don't think he'd come back as his Johnny?
No.
No?
If he wanted to retire as Chris Evans, there's no way he's coming back as Human Torch.
You want to try that again?
Did I say his version of Chris Evans?
Yes.
I did need the second one of these.
Chris Evans has stopped being himself. He is now only being referred to as Captain America. But yeah, I don't need that. I think it's silly. I think it's dumb, and I think that, like another thing, I on 1,000 different levels do not want this to be the introduction of the X-Men.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like the way people are like, and then you can bring in like the Fox X-Men. Like, no, I don't want mutants to show up because of multiverse shit. The only way you can make me like the idea of mutants coming through the multiverse is if there's a weird thing that happens to planet Earth that causes mutants. Like there's some weird like multiversal reset, and then when the dust settles, there's mutants now.
Yeah.
I don't want the X-Men to walk through a portal and decide that they live here now.
I would not be surprised if they go that route. Not that like the exact route, but the route that we see some form of X-Men in this movie. I would not be surprised if like they show up for a minute, they help with the fight, and then like afterwards Strange is like, by the way, what are you? Like the kid meme, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Who are you? And then they're like, hey, mutant gene. Maybe on your Earth. Doesn't seem like it. Maybe. And they leave.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I've also seen talk about how this might involve a multiversal version of the Marvel Illuminati. That was so funny. The camera lagged and you just fucking teleported over to a laundry basket.
Yes.
That was so funny. I hope it ends up in the episode like that.
We're professionals.
And that wasn't just on my end, because it looked like you were like listening, just looking into the camera, and then over there where the basket was. That was so funny. But anyway, I didn't even notice it until you walked over. I've seen talk about a multiversal Illuminati, and that there might be an appearance of like either a recast version, or they will use the same one from the Inhumans of Black Bolt, and Tony, and maybe another Strange. Like I would not mind seeing the Illuminati. I would not mind if it's a multiversal version of that team. I've always loved the idea of like the smartest but also most stick up their ass bastards in the Marvel universe. Like it's one of those things that like in the real world, the concept of, hey, we've decided we're smarter than everybody, we're going to make all these life-changing decisions for the rest of the universe. Obviously that concept is one of those like, hi, I don't like this in real life, but the idea of in universe, Strange, Tony, T'Challa, Black Bolt, all just kind of like, somebody's got to do it type decisions. I wouldn't mind seeing that come to pass. And then maybe this more sinister Doctor Strange is a part of that. There's something to that effect. But yeah, also we got our first looks at America Chavez. And she looks great. I was rewatching the trailer and I realized the giant blue portal we see kind of at the midpoint of the trailer is one of the giant star portals that America Chavez makes. Like I didn't realize at first that it was a giant star. But yeah, this is super exciting. I can't wait to see it. May, stay tuned for some Doctor Strange coverage. Again, I think Travis and I will do our usual. I think there's definitely going to be at least one more trailer. We'll cover that, and then I plan on checking out as much as
we'll both stay away from it, and then you'll see a leak and be like, dude, do you want to see it? I'm not going to show you if you don't want it, but do you want to see it? I'm going to be like, yeah, I want to see it. And That'll be around the beginning of April.
Yeah.
And then at that point,
right
leaks
after we
start
see
flooding
Morbius.
out. Yeah. Oh God, don't say that. It's gonna. Part of me wants it to be April 1st because April 1st, and part of me wants it to just never come out because we already suffered with New Mutants on this show. We don't need round 2 of that.
One more time for Morbius.
Also, my TV's reminding me I can finally watch Eternals now. Because
Oh, did you not see it yet?
We literally missed it by a day. The day we had a weekend to go see it. Like right after she came home from college. And like we had like a Thursday and Friday or whatever, and we were like, yeah, we'll go to the movies on Thursday. We didn't go on Thursday. Like, whatever, we have Friday. We'll just go Friday. And we went to go Friday. Or like that night, after we had decided that and it was too late to change our minds, I looked up the show times at the theater and Eternals wasn't on there.
Oh, what'd you guys see instead?
Encanto, which then went on to Disney Plus the following day.
I think I'm watching Encanto this weekend and I'm not emotionally prepared for it.
That's very good. It's like
I keep seeing people like, hi, Pixar traumatized me again, and I'm mentally preparing myself.
It's quite good. It's different story structure wise. It's different compared to like the normal. There's a bad guy and they're hiding, and the hero's finding out, and they discover they have a thing, and blah blah blah. Blah, blah. Like, it's not a usual Pixar plot or Disney plot, and I quite liked it. So
I'm looking forward to it. Did you see the trailer for Turning Red? I'm assuming it was attached to Encanto.
Maybe
that's the new Pixar movie where it's about the kid who turns into like a giant red panda.
Yes.
I was in the theater. I think maybe it was Eternals. I don't remember. I was in the theater watching that trailer, and there was like it was something about the line delivery about our families tied to the history and the energy of the panda, and I fucking honked. Like, there was something about that line delivery where I was like, why are we doing this like body humor flick and trying to do some type of like ancient mystic prophecy? And it's like, does everyone have to be a chosen one?
Yes.
Why does everyone have to be the chosen one of their story? But there was just something, I can't remember exactly how it was phrased. I should pull up the trailer at some point, but there was like a specific line in the trailer where I just honked and I couldn't help myself. But yeah, moving on. Like I said, this is mostly quickie stories, which is a nice thing. We have a date for the return of the boys, which I am very excited for. June 3rd, The Boys season 3. They're going to be doing what they did for this last season. So the first 3 episodes will go out. Actually, let me pull that back up because, again, Travis knows more about The Boys than I do. So, hold on. I'm trying to get to it's taking forever to load. So it's going to be 3 episodes all at once on Friday, June 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to be 1 episode a week until the finale on July 8th. And then about halfway through, like they specifically said, Hero-gasm is happening at about the midway point. And I keep seeing people being very excited for Hero-gasm. I don't know what the fuck that is and what that means. But people are really excited for it. I'm excited just because I love this show. And I'm having a wonderful time with it. I cannot wait to get back into this dude. I think it was in Kripke's tweet.
They've been doing the like little news segments and stuff recently that I haven't watched any of, and I kind of want to go back and catch up on those.
Yeah, I do too. I tried to again. I was one of those like, oh, I think I want to avoid stuff.
But I think they said
But
somewhere like it will be necessary. Like they're packing in pre-plot into those.
oh, okay. Well, I guess I am gonna have to go back and watch that. Yeah. So how they have it laid out. This is from the boys' Twitter, from a few days ago, and the Eric Kripke retweeted it. More dates for you to put in your planner, carve into your wall, however you want to remember something important. June 3rd, episodes 1 through 3, and then June 10th, June 17th are episodes 4 and 5, respectively. And then it says June 24th, Herogasm. Whatever that means. Again, I am blissfully ignorant of all things The Boys. And then July 1st, episode 7, July 8th, season finale. Travis, do you have any like non-spoilery way to illuminate me to what Herogasm is, or is that out of your wheelhouse for The
I
Boys as well?
believe I know what scene that's referring to. But also in a lot of the recap stuff I watched, it wasn't like because it's not super plot relevant. It's just
Okay.
it's one of those famous scenes like Homelander, doing his due at the top of the Vought Tower, right? Where like
Okay.
it's more so just a scene from the comic people want to see in the show. Which at this point, that's like the show is just working those scenes into whatever the new version of the story is that they're writing.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I have no idea where the plot's going, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and that's going back to all the conversations we've had that, you're familiar with The Boys source material. I'm not. And like, again, I knew the very like cut and dry, ask me what it's about, Billy Butcher, blah blah blah, Homeland. Like I could give you the basic plot of this group of non-powered people hates the powered people, and they're trying to take out this, very cynical, dark version of the Justice League. But it's from everything you've told me, it sounds like the show is vastly superior, and that's what I see from everybody who talks about this show for the most part, is that it stands head and shoulders above the source material. Which happens sometimes. So yeah, the boys are coming back, and I can't freaking wait. It is about to be diabolical up in this bitch. That is one of my favorite shows to cover with Travis. Granted, we haven't done a whole lot of like recurring TV talk yet, because so much of what we've covered TV wise has been either like a mini series or we haven't gotten the second season yet. But talking to the boys with my boy is my favorite. So chomping at the bit for that. We got a leaky leak of some art for Thor. Thovenlunder. I did it on purpose that time. Open up this image here so that we can see it. We got the new looks for Thor Odin's son, which is very yellow and blue, and I'm into it. And we also get some Jane Foster Thorage going on over here with more of a traditional outfit. I like the way they're setting them apart. I love the way that both of them are getting the helmet masks. But I love that Thor's finally getting one. This feels like in a video game that you maxed Thor out. This is his end game.
Yeah, the suit he wears at the end, or like you finally unlocked the alternate color scheme. I think it's weird his cape is still red though.
I'm into the red cape. I think like this suit is so busy and so loud, and he still has like the little red band accents here.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. I also think it's interesting, unrelated to the main story. You can't see Black Panther, but it still looks like T'Challa, just from the build.
Yeah, well, my guess is that this art was ready a long time. If this is real, like this was done a long time ago.
Yeah.
Probably
I
before
agree.
Chadwick's passing, because
Or at the very least, because they're still using Chadwick on stuff like the new Disney Plus banner for the Marvel stuff.
yeah,
Like, it still has T'Challa on it. I don't think there's anything wrong with using T'Challa on a piece of promotional art like this. Again, there's so much of it that we can't see, and like we have both Thors side by side. So for all we know, they could also have Shuri right next to him,
mm-hmm.
and they're
Yeah,
just showing everybody all together.
they've had so much of this planned out. Obviously, they had all of this art and key art and promotional stuff done, and they were like, "Well, he's still Black Panther,"
Yeah.
you know.
And again, even if this came after, like you said, I think he's still Black Panther stands. I also really like with this art. I'm gonna zoom out again. Or scroll up, that is. Unrelated things. I really dig Tony having the nano gauntlet on and his little like the heroes who were, I don't know why Hulk is like up here with people who are gone. Like we see Gamora and Cap
He
up
looks
there
less
like
faded.
that. He looks less faded, but he's still up there as though he's no longer with us. I think that's Wanda because the hair. There might be people who are like bigger in the image. We also have Kamala Khan over here as well. And for some reason, we're still in the godforsaken Iron Spider armor. But yeah, I think it's a cool look. Obviously, Jane Foster's looks great. You know, that's right off of the page. Yeah, I really like the super loud Odin's son armor. I'm doing these out of order, and I played myself. Oh, here's a fun one. This is from Hollywood Reporter. Again, this is from like the day before No Way Home came out, and we missed it. Blue Beetle is no longer going to be an HBO exclusive release. It is going to have a theatrical release next year. Warner Brothers Entertainment. This is Hollywood Reporter, Aaron Couch. Warner Brothers and DC Films' Blue Beetle is moving from streaming to movie theaters. The superhero project was originally developed for Warner Media's HBO Max, but Warner Brothers announced Thursday that it will instead get a theatrical release on August 18th, 2023. So, yeah. I think that's a great sign. I think it's a good sign for Batgirl as well. If they have enough faith in Blue Beetle, unless they really want to use Batgirl as a, hey, come subscribe to HBO Max.
Which I feel like they don't need.
I don't think they need it either.
Like they don't need it. B, nothing to knock against Batgirl. If you're using Batgirl to bring people onto your streaming service, that signals to me this is not a Batgirl movie. If you catch my drift.
I think I know what you mean. That like if you're trying to leverage Batgirl, what you're actually going to do is like make it a Batman flick instead.
Yes.
Yeah. I see what you mean with that. Related to this, it also looks like we're going to be getting the Batman on HBO Max like a month after it releases theatrically.
Good, so we can rewatch it endlessly after we see it in theaters.
Exactly. Also, we did get a couple like promotional images. There was like a trailer and a couple TV spots. I avoided them. But tangentially related to this, before we talk about Batgirl, what did you see the like really clear image of the promotional image of Riddler in his outfit?
No, I didn't.
Where he's wearing like a trash bag.
No.
Hold on, I'll send it to you. Also, apologies for my congestion and stuffiness. It's like every episode now I sound like shit. But only on the main show. When I'm on other shows, on nights, I sound fine. It
must
this
be the time of day.
Yeah. Yep. Riddler the Batman. Why am I Googling it to send to you? You can tell that I'm still not used to being on camera. That I'm like, I can just put this on the screen. Hold on.
Screens aren't real.
No. Again, people who listen, sorry you're missing out, but
I used to be one of those people that was like, why would I ever listen to a podcast if they have a video version? The video version is always superior. But then I realized I can listen to way more podcasts if it's an audio podcast because I can listen to it at work.
yeah, it is kind of a give and take. There's some shows I'd rather watch. Before a certain individual's fall from grace and becoming an absolute disappointment, I would only ever watch their show. Referring to Gus and Eddie, but obviously Stan Eddie Burback for forever. But like you listen to the Schmodown, I can't listen to the Schmodown. I have to watch it, or at the very least have it on a screen. Like I can play video games and shit while I watch the Schmodown, like put that in quotation marks, but I need to be able to like look at it. I can't just listen to it. Anyway, Zodiac Killer Riddler.
Okay. That's different. It's in line with the feel of the movie, at least, Like, obviously, it would feel wrong for him to come out in the Jim Carrey neon green question mark suit.
Yeah.
So.
I personally, I understand it, and I'm sure I will like it in context of the movie. And again, I understand they were trying to base him off the Zodiac Killer, all of that stuff, whatever. For my money, I think they should have gone with the Telltale outfit for Riddler. I don't know if you've seen that one or familiar with it.
I'm sure I have, because I played the first season of that game. I just don't remember.
It was actually season 2 that had the Riddler
definitely
in it with the outfit I'm thinking about. 1 second, I'm gonna try to find it here. But like it's still, in my opinion, conducive to the vibe that we've seen from the Batman thus far. It's it's still a little bit flashier. Like it's comic booky, but can still absolutely fit a grounded tone, especially when you already have one character wearing a cape and bat ears.
I feel like that's the one thing that, like, every single person that's made a Batman movie hates the most about Batman is the fact that it's Batman. Oh, you got it. I think so. I think two things. This is still too comic booky for what they want. And I think maybe what's happening with that promotional art is something like what happened with Heath Ledger's Joker. I hope, anyway. Where that art came out and everyone was like, this is going to be terrible and awful,
Yeah.
Not to that degree, but that when you put something like that on a white background with nothing else going on in the image, it just looks not great.
Yeah.
So.
I understand that. Yeah. We're also getting our merchandise push. We finally have like a Funko Pop line for the Batman. Which is scary because I think a good third of my Funko Pop collection is Batman. So they'll do it again. Moving on. We're going to talk about Batgirl last because it's going to get a dovetail into the last big story that I figured was going to be a big discussion that I'm saving for the back end here. Travis, we do our best to keep up with award season.
You do your best to keep up with award season. Let's clarify here.
I meant we as a show
on this show. Yeah,
we as a show.
I found out live with the audience about award season.
Also, before we get into it, I'm going to do the obligatory annual Awards mean nothing. The Oscars are pointless. All of these mean nothing. They're all dumb. Everybody gets snubbed. The Oscars are an incredibly elitist, stick up its ass, kind of rooted in some systemic bigotry there, institution, and Oscars don't mean everything. However, I enjoy awards season. I have fun with it, and I watched the Oscars as a kid, and now I want to recapture that magic, and I'll never be able to because I was too young and dumb to understand what was going on. That said, Spider-Man No Way Home is making a full for your consideration push, up to and including a Best Picture attempt. They are swinging for the fences. I'm trying to see. Yeah, I think they're trying to be nominated for pretty much everything it's eligible for, which I think is impressive. Now here's the thing. I think they're doing that for pretty much every award ceremony coming up. That said, they are not eligible for the BAFTAs because they did not submit in time, which somebody at Sony made a mistake there. So yeah, we might, depending on the way that things shake out, have a slugfest between two blockbusters at the Oscars because Dune also has a big for your consideration push going on. We'll do a Dune review at some point. I promise. Mike is chomping at the bit to do it. We'll talk a lot about Dune. Dune might end up being a part of our Oscar coverage, and I don't know what they're going to do for the Oscars this year. Less movies have come out, and I have seen a lot less. Oh, this is a shoo-in for the Oscars this year than most years. I thought House of Gucci was going to be one of those. I see House of Gucci picking up Best Leading Actress and maybe Best Leading Actor. I don't see House of Gucci getting a Best Picture. I'll be stunned if any of the supporting cast gets nominated. Looking at you, Leto. If he gets nominated for an Oscar, I am going to cry tears of joy. But I don't think any of that's going to happen. So we might have the Oscars give a little ground again and have to nominate some blockbusters.
I mean, if they don't, they're going to be nominating random ass Netflix movies. So I say random, they didn't work really hard on those. But you're right. There was really not a lot of theatrical releases going on this year besides Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel ran the box office in a more dominant way than it normally does.
And there wasn't even because it's Oscar season. It was Oscar season, and I think in total there were 2 movies that came out that are Oscar bait, 2 or 3. Because there was House of Gucci, that one starring Bradley Cooper. I forget
Nightmare
what it's
Alley.
called. Yeah, that one. I can't think of anything else.
I'm very curious to see what the nominations will look like. Obviously, the Golden Globes didn't get televised this year. I don't think the Golden Globes got televised this year. That's what I thought. Because part of me was like, did I just miss it? But no, I just thought they weren't televised.
The only reason I knew they happened was because at one point the other night, Lexi was like, "Oh, Andrew Garfield won Best Actor for Tick, Tick, Boom at the Golden Globes. Were those on TV?" And I looked up and every news article was why the Golden Globes are bullshit and no one cares about their not televised awards.
That's what I thought, because I remember after last year, a bunch of people were like, we're not doing this shit ever again. Until the Hollywood Foreign Press gets its shit together, we're not doing this again. And I was like, I couldn't remember if it was this year that the Golden Globes would not be televised or if it was next year. And because my Sunday nights lately, or while I'm at work, I'm pretty much contractually obligated to have football on all the TVs.
Especially
go Steelers, by the way.
Yeah, especially now that the Steelers have one more game to play where they're going to get absolutely fucking decimated. Good luck on that Sunday, by the way. I don't follow a lot of football. If anyone thinks the Steelers can beat Kansas City, they are on some kind of drug that I want.
I'm glad we're on the same page on that. Oh my god. I wish you guys could have seen what was going on at the bar while so for those of you who don't know and don't keep up with Pittsburgh sports, I'm sure there's plenty of sports ball people who watch or people who give a damn about sports ball, that is. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a very specific set of prerequisites for them to be able to make the playoffs. There were 2 games they had to win, and they needed another team to win a game. And then they needed Sunday Night Football between the Raiders and the Chargers to not end in a tie. Because it didn't matter who won Sunday Night Football. It just could not end in a tie. And if that game didn't go into overtime, and I am watching everybody in the bar just glaring at the TV. People going, it's fixed. It's rigged. It's rigged. It's fixed. And I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, because they're so afraid of what the Steelers are going to do in the playoffs. Again, I don't
terrified Ben Roethlisberger won't retire after this season.
Can't do it soon enough. But I the universe has made me know things about football now because of working at the club, and I enjoy it. It's making me do the thing I say every year, or this is the year I get into football. But
we had 2 funny moments that day of watching the Steelers game almost end in a tie, where we were like, man, wouldn't it be funny if they both knocked each other out this way? And then they didn't, and it made us kind of sad. And then watching the Chargers Raiders game going, it was the second quarter. We were all about to go home, and we're all watching, going, how many ways can they fuck this up? How many different avenues to a tie do we have right now? I think the score at the time was 10-14 or something. So it was, or 11-14. So there weren't many, but it was it can happen pretty realistically. They could end up in overtime. And then I went to leave, and it was 20-something to 14. And I was like, that's okay. I just have to listen to everyone get mad over the Kansas City game now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to hear what this group of people will definitely awful things are going to say about Patrick Mahomes. Because I don't trust any of them to not be racist about losing their special boy game. Moving into some DC territory to round out the show. We got some set pictures from the set of Batgirl. So here we see Leslie Grace. Here, GCPD shirt. I don't know how I feel about them making Barbara a cop again. But whatever. So we have that image. And we have this mural this set piece of Batman and Robin on it, which I think is pretty neat. So,
oh yeah, wasn't there some news about Michael Keaton being in this movie?
There is something I've seen conflicting reports about it, and some people saying that it's not actually him being in Batgirl or something like that. I don't know at this point. Those are one of those moments where all the reporting I saw was so confusing. I'm just going to wait for a definitive answer. But maybe Michael Keaton is also in Batgirl. Speaking of Mr. Keaton, our last story here today. Travis, did you look at the links? Did you see one of the articles that I linked?
Not until just now. So, you mentioned this story before we started, and I was like, that's a thing.
So, I'm going to start in the gutter. And I'm going to read to you the Cosmic Book News version of this rumor first. From Matt McGloin, guess that's a real name. DCEU reboot drops Batman and Superman for DC Female Trinity. No, I will not be subscribing to Cosmic Book News. Major rumors have surfaced in regards to the DCEU reboot that will drop Batman and Superman in favor of a female DC Trinity involving Supergirl, Batgirl, and Wonder Woman, with Black Canary also involved. It's not a fucking Trinity. There's 4 people. The rumors surround the upcoming movie starring Ezra Miller with The Flash, where it is claimed that the fic will reboot the DCEU and potentially erase the Snyderverse films, with a new Justice League team formed in a rebooted DCEU rebirth. A rumor claims that Flash will erase every Zack Snyder movie, which includes Man of Steel, BVS, and the Snyder Cut. It will be erased from continuity, and it will be as if it never happened. And they are also moving away from Ben Affleck's Batman and Henry Cavill's Superman. Regarding the Snyderverse getting erased, apparently, Ezra Miller also responded to the rumor and said that that wasn't happening. No power or force in any known megaverse would or could take or would ever erase Zack Snyder's mighty works. You can take that quote, take that to the bank, to the press, to the schools, to the military, and to the other pillar of capitalism I've forgotten, because that thing where you try to think of a group of things and you always forget one of them. So if that's a real
quote, that's a very quote.
If that's a real Ezra Miller quote, if it's not a real Ezra Miller quote, someone knows really well how to write them. My own, this is from the article. My own thought is that the Flash won't specifically erase the Snyderverse, as that would be a PR disaster for WB, but most likely be a soft reboot where Miller is the Flash, Godot sticks around as Wonder Woman, they keep Momoa, but Batman and Superman are changed with the addition of other characters, and the Snyder movie simply won't be acknowledged. So
that is how reboots work.
So yeah. Also, a lot of this started with the queen of misinformation, Grace Randolph. She said, "As I've told you with update, Flash will be Batfleck's last appearance. Old footage of Cavill will be seen on TVs in the background. A new Justice League will be formed. Supergirl is the new Superman." Which, like, all of the phrasing here is bait, and it pisses me off so much. Keaton is working with Black Canary, picks Batgirl as the new Batman. This is DC. Let's be open-minded and give it a fair shot. So,
I hate that last sentence. I hate that last sentence because, like, it implies that somehow DC realizing how much money they could make off the Snyder Cut, that they did make off the Snyder Cut, is somehow conducive to they're going to listen to all the toxic fandom all the time.
Well, there's that. I also think that, like, what pisses me off is the implication that it's like, because they caved to us before, and because they know who the loudest, most obnoxious people in this fandom are, maybe these female superheroes won't be too woke. Like, that is the, again, put that in big air quotes for anyone who isn't watching the show. I said woke in big air quotes. Like it was kind of an implication of, like, give it a chance. Maybe it won't be woke, you know, like the Murphy's Multiverse version of the story that isn't all bait. Rumor the Flash may soft reboot the DCEU and, in quotes, erase the Snyderverse.
I could only wish. Like, that's my thing with this whole story. They're acting like that's a bad thing. I want so badly.
It's a bad thing because it's a declaration of war against the crazies.
I want to take the weight of the Snyder Cut off of my brain finally. Or at least, like, the years I lost in that time where it was coming out and things, like, we were talking about it.
This is from the Murphy's Multiverse version. Continuity in the DCEU has been a bit loose these past few years with a lot of factors up in the air. It's been tough for many fans who just wanted solid answers on the future of beloved characters like Batman and Superman, two pillars of the franchise throughout many mediums. We've known for a while now that Ben Affleck is basically out the door and Henry Cavill's future is still very much up in the air. Some recent reports seem to point us in the direction of where the DCEU will be heading in the future of the extended universe. My Time to Shine, who made a name for themselves with stories based off of Marvel Studios' upcoming projects, shared some details on The Flash and just what effects the film will have on the shared universe. By the sound of it, it's not going to be good for longtime fans of Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's additions to the franchise, who was the person that initially kicked off the new rendition of the DC franchise. This is the original post that happened on New Year's Day. I don't usually tweet about DC stuff, but I have a friend who's seen The Flash, and the movie will erase every movie Snyder has done. Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League have never happened now. Erase with continuity. Affleck and Cavill are both gone. Is like the original tweet. As such, The Flash may effectively erase the events of Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League along with them. Flash would also be erasing both Affleck and Cavill from the DCEU timeline entirely, with the return of Michael Keaton cementing him as the new Bruce Wayne of this timeline. Of course, it's uncertain how the film will accomplish this, and with the multiverse, it may simply end up redefining the main timeline, like in DC's famous Crisis events. This news, if it pans out, will undoubtedly upset many fans of the films made by Zack Snyder that started it all, with quite beloved parts of the fandom. Cavill also never really got his due, and it's basically just opinion stuff of, oh, hey, people who like those movies will be upset, and I wish Henry Cavill got to do more with the character. So yeah, again, this article is not made up of entirely bait, and that's why you don't take Cosmic Book seriously. The fact that the headline read like "New Female Trinity" and within a sentence goes, "There will be 4 people in the Trinity." Shut up. Just shut up. So yeah, Travis, you clearly are pro this idea of wiping some of those movies from the continuity. I'm putting my blanket back on. Don't mind me.
I want people to just shut their goddamn mouths about having some kind of live action universe. I'm sick of it. They can't do it. They're so bad at it. DC has proven themselves to be dog shit at this. Let them make movies how they want to make movies. If they use other characters, they use other characters. I think I figured it out. I think I pieced together why it's not good. Marvel does never adapts a specific comic book. They will loosely translate comic stories into a film. And by that I mean they'll take key comic book things that they know people will be like, that, I liked that. That was from a comic I read. That was really cool. And they will adapt the story as best they can into a movie script. DC, in all, not just their movies, all of their media goes, we have these really famous, like, amazing comic runs for these characters. Let's squish it all down into, at best, a 2-hour movie. Where we have to cut so much stuff, change so much plot that it's barely recognizable, but we're marketing it to you as this story, right? I look at something like Batman Hush, where that movie, and it's an animated movie, it's like an hour and a half. It's barely Batman Hush because they only gave it an hour and a half. And they tried to fit it into a universe that doesn't have Jason Todd or Tim Drake. And at that point, why not just have that be its own little mini series? Because that's something that Hawkeye did really well. It felt like we were watching a comic run on screen because it was a series and could breathe like a comic book does. So for these movies from DC to be trying to imitate comic stories doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. And vroom. For them to keep doing that but trying to build a universe just doesn't make any sense. That's why these movies come up short. Like when your whole marketing scheme is it's Dark Knight Returns, but the only part of Dark Knight Returns we really have is the fight.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. So
there's also, again, the issue that we've brought up many, many times is when you're trying to establish your universe, it's really hard to start with something like Dark Knight Returns. You know, like your second chapter of the story.
Batman.
You lose all that time with Batman. The second chapter of your story is this bastard baby of the death of Superman in Dark Knight Returns. That I don't understand how that's the story that will immediately precede the foundation of the Justice League.
And I don't think they understood how it would be either. Is the thing where the concept of pacing themselves and not just because at this point they can do we'll make movies loosely adapting comic stories into ways that are marketable as a film. Like there's just things that don't translate from a comic book to a live action movie, right? I mentioned this in our No Way Home review. I think there are several scenes during the final, the spoilers for No Way Home. It's the middle of January. How have you not seen No Way Home? Spoilers for No Way Home. There are several scenes during the final fight where the Spider-Men all take off their masks so they can start acting at each other. And in the comic book, that wouldn't happen. They'd all still have their masks on. Right? And that, like, just in general in comic book media, I never understood why all the time they'd have like, okay, and now your character takes their mask off in the middle of this fight for no reason. It's so the actor can act.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I only recently realized that's how that works. But like there were several like the after like when Garfield and Toby are standing there as Tom walks away after Toby's been stabbed, and they go, "You're in a lot of pain." Yes, right. I could see that comic panel where they're both still wearing their masks.
Yeah,
kind of deal. That was a very long-winded example, but there are things you have to adapt from a story that don't work from a comic book, and they're not willing to do that. At least to also tie it into a greater universe.
I agree with you. I do think DC could have, again, I think that the biggest issue they've had here is that they don't want to do a full reboot. And
they don't want to admit they failed.
Whoever's decision it was, whether WB was like, we want you to do the Dark Knight Returns and Death of Superman in this movie, or if Snyder was like, I want to do the Dark Knight Returns and Death of Superman. Whoever's decision it was, I truly believe this. That was the decision that killed this franchise. That was the decision. I don't understand how you can open with those two stories. I truly, truly don't. Like, that would be like if the first movie in the MCU, and obviously this couldn't have been the case because all the rights bullshit, but like, that's like if the first movie of the MCU was fucking Old Man Logan.
Perfect.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to do this big Avengers franchise. And Hawkeye's blind, and Wolverine killed all the X-Men, and Hulk and She-Hulk have this weird incestuous relationship. And it's like, we're throwing everything to the wind. Iron Man, Captain America, all of the core Avengers are all already dead. Our first big bad is going to be one of the most obscure villains we can think of. Like don't open with Darkseid. I agree with that. Save Darkseid for later, or do what the New 52 and the Justice League animated stuff did, where you open with Darkseid, but he gets away. And he comes back with a vengeance later. You can do that. But Steppenwolf is our big bad friggin' Steppenwolf? Not Mongol, not Vandal Savage, not Brainiac. Yeah. And you get like Snyder's version, like he's doing like Emperor Palpatine calls with Darkseid every 30 seconds. So like, okay, cool. Like Darkseid is the big bad and Steppenwolf is this minion, and that would have been cool if we got more movies. Like it's also frustrating. The DCEU could have worked, and it still could work if they would just go, okay, we need to start over.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to lose Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and they don't want to lose Momoa, and they don't want to lose Zachary Levi, and they don't want to lose Margot Robbie. They have 4 heavy hitters. I understand why they don't want to lose these 4.
I do too, honestly. And if Henry Cavill's talked about wanting to come back, if they could kind of prop him into coming back and give him someone that isn't Zack Snyder to work with, just a thought. I might, in the same way that I have not seen, but I've seen enough clips from the Amazing Spider-Man movies to know I'm not a huge fan of them. I think No Way Home is a proof of concept for Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And just seeing when he has real script to work with, he's incredible. I think also he's grown, like, I'm sure he's grown a lot as an actor since then. Because, like, everything he's put out of it this past year has just been insane. Tick, Tick, Boom is, like, an absolutely incredible movie. But
he was hoping to get some Oscar love.
That's the random Netflix one that I want to see.
Yeah.
Directed by your boy. So
my boy.
It was directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that he directed Tick, Tick, Boom. My brain, I keep hearing about all of like the animated music he's done, and then when you went directed by your boy, like in my brain, Lin-Manuel Miranda has only worked on cartoons this past year. I completely forgot about that. But yes, you're right.
But in that same way, I think we could get that with Henry Cavill playing a Superman that isn't, for some reason, the antithesis of everything Superman is.
For some reason, destined to have this like Darth Vader style arc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then at that point, you just have to recast your Batman, which Ben Affleck doesn't want to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like guys, I'm sorry to tell you this. He does not want to do it anymore.
And I keep seeing all these people like, oh, bring back Ben Affleck, bring back Ben Affleck. And it's like, people keep using it, the fact that he invoked Joss Whedon, and like working with Joss Whedon's version of Justice League is what broke him and made him decide that he didn't want to do it anymore. Which, like, cool. You do realize that means he doesn't want to do it anymore, and just making it that it's Daddy Zach isn't going to change that, right?
I'd also like to think that the real reason is he knows playing Batman, you'll have to do at least one shirtless scene, which means he has to go through the makeup process of covering his back tattoo.
There is that.
Which I know it's only like one day of shooting, but that's gotta suck. Not to mention, like, how old is Ben Affleck?
He's in his 50s. And if not older.
Oh, dude, no way. No, there's not a chance he's ever. I mean, I know Keaton's coming back, but they can keep him in the suit the whole time. There's not a goddamn chance he ever comes back. Hold on. Ben Affleck is
49. He's 49.
Not a chance. No way. The amount of steroids you have to pump into him to keep him in Batman shape, there's no way.
I agree. Or again, you do, and I know it's not going to happen because they've basically said like 1,000 times that they're not going to try to fold the Batman into the DCEU and that the Batman is its own thing and that's whatever and it's fine. I understand it. They could have also very easily done the Flashpoint animated movie and Flashpoint in general thing of when Barry leaves the Prime timeline, it's Ben Affleck, and when he comes back, it's Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. Or it's just whoever the new person's going to be. Like, if you don't want it to be Pattinson, like, be very clear about it because they're never clear about any of this, and that's the biggest problem. Because I don't
deliberately
think
so, because they want to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, that or it's like they just don't know. Like, whatever team was supposed to figure that out has been spinning their wheels, collecting their paycheck, and going, they've been paying us, and we haven't told them anything yet, and we don't know what we're going to do because this is terrifying. But also, we're just going to keep getting paid. So,
exactly. It's all such a mess. It's all just, you know what? L horn. We're doing the L horn one last time. I was originally just gonna have the Price is Right version of it, and then I found like these 3 people in a basement, and I was like, "There's something funnier about this."
There's something on brand about that.
Isn't there? Isn't there? Like it's the right vibe. It's the right vibe. A Price is Right clip wouldn't have worked. But yeah, I think that is our show. Travis, where can the lovely people find you, my friend?
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I don't remember the last thing I tweeted, so I can't reference it. At Travis Political. What was the last thing I tweeted? Jared, where?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552, and you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website, www.nerdacademypodcast.com, where, if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page.
Give me $1.
Thank you to Travis. Since you have your phone out, you can read Paco's name. Thank you to the Waffle Wizard, Delta 9, Zach Knaus, Nick Johnson. Do I have to?
Yeah.
I got it. There it is, And
I don't have a where you didn't send it.
Oh.
Yeah, you did send it to me. Was it? I think it was over Snapchat. I think it's gone.
Yeah, I think you screenshot it though.
Let's find out. Oh yeah, I did. I must have.
Yeah.
There it is.
Paco stays winning on us.
Yeah. Your friendly neighborhood otorhinolaryngologist. Got there.
We got there.
I kind of want to Google what that is, but I'm also afraid to Google what that is.
He commented on one of our videos saying apparently it is just a fancy word for head, nose, throat, doc.
That makes sense.
Yeah, which I saw Ryan and I'm like, okay, that's nose. So, by the time you guys are seeing this, I will have reposted the Versus Series brackets for people to fill out. That will be next Thursday at time of record. So the Versus Series tournament live stream will be happening on the 20th. And you have a week to send in your brackets. So the 19th into the 20th is basically going to be the last day you can send in a bracket. Stay posted for that. I originally said on Knights of the Nerd Republic, I clarified that on the most recent Knights of the Nerd Republic. I edited, so I clarified it after the fact. But I completely forgot that Thursday the 13th, the day after this is uploaded, I will be on Bombadcast that night to talk about the Book of Boba Fett. So I can't be in 2 places at once, unfortunately, and completely forgot that that was my week for Book of Bombad. So, oopsie, next week versus tournament. And so stay tuned for that. then we're going to figure out what all we're doing for the rest of the year very soon. So thank you all so much for watching and listening. Submit those brackets, win some free merch. That's the big one. If you're a patron, you get more stuff as well. So hop on that Patreon too while you're at it. $5 a month. But yeah, thank you all so very much for watching and listening. However you engage, sundaysbloodymary.com/shop, code TNAP at checkout. Be sure to hit the student store link on our website to check out our TeePublic.
TeePublic.com.
We got belts, but we got shirts.
We don't got belts, but we got shirts. Thank you all. Oh, we'll be doing some Schmodown Awards recap on number one contender soon. I think we're probably just going to wait for the ceremony itself.
Probably easiest, yeah.
Do it that way. But yeah, thank you all so very much for watching, listening, however you engage, and class dismissed.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar.